Hi there people, it's Uberman UK. Now the Topographical test. Oh man, this is the hardest test you're going to go through. So when you've gone through all that, you get to mostly the final one, which is this test. This is the hardest test possible, because your local council want you to know every part of your city, street names, well-known locations. And this test is quite difficult. There is a lot of studying going on. If you think you've lived in this area for all your life and you go to this test without any study whatsoever, I mostly guarantee you will fail it, people. Now what you need to do is study hard. You've got to sleep with a MacBook. Easiest way to actually study this is a few tips like what I do. Everywhere I go, I take to A to Z of your local town. I learn every single major road in that town and learn how to spell it as well. I'll come to that bit. So you've got to learn every single major road in the town. You've got to know every single pub, every single school, every single restaurant, every single well-known location. Now the trick, what I tend to do, I use a lot of Google with this. So for example, I put my council's name, which was Tameside, and I put in high schools, and they give a list of schools. I learned all them and how to get to them from the main road. Same with primary schools and pubs as well. You could just type in Google pubs in your local area and it'll give you a full list. Learn where they are, learn what street they're on, because that's the things they're going to test you. Well-known locations, because they're going to say passengers get on, and what they're going to ask for is what's usually pubs, clubs, well-known business places, schools, primary schools, restaurants, nightclubs, cinemas, entertainment centres, anywhere like that, football grounds, airports, and you've got to know all these in detail. Now the test involves, depending on your local council, it could be a computer test where you sit in front of the computer and they ask you how to get from A to B, and you've got to type it in the computer or do it on a map. The other alternative, it could be a verbal test where you'll sit one-to-one with an examinator, and he could say, right, could you tell me how to get from Manchester Airport to Ashton Cinema, please? And you've got to name every single road from A to B. Or they could ask you things like, could you tell me how to get to the Prince of Orange to Denton Town Hall? And you've got to name every single road from there perfectly. Now also it could be a written test, the old-fashioned pen and paper job, which it was for me. The same scenario, they give you a list of destinations and you've got to write from A to B, and you've got to write the physical name of the road, every single road from A to B. Now I'll be honest, I failed it the first time because I was quite a big head, and I said to myself, well, I've lived it all my life, I know mostly every area. What a flipping fool I was. The second test, which you have to pay again if you fail it, I studied hard. You have to do at least 40 hours of studying, people. Now I have got a few more videos on this subject to give you tips and hints and out. So all you have to do is look back at my videos. I'll put Topographical test tips and it would come up. Now you're nearly there, people. You're nearly at the end. People say you've got to do all this to be a taxi driver. It takes 6 months, it really does. But you're getting there, people. Hopefully I'm supporting you. Hopefully you've got your friends and family who are supporting you. But we're nearly there. All we've got to do is pass this test. And we've done it. Thanks so much, people. It's Uberman UK signing out.